At a recent meeting with country's diplomatic corps, President Volodymyr Zelensky gave Ukrainian ambassadors their marching orders for rest of year work to help secure Ukraine's membership in North Atlantic Treaty Organization and European Union. Zelensky also told the ambassadors to focus on helping broker bilateral agreements for security guarantees between Ukraine and G7 countries, including the United States. The task of ambassadors in NATO countries is to try to unite all capitals of the alliance around common security priorities. He said, "The security of our continent of the rules-based international order as a whole is ensured in Ukraine. And this deserves political legal recognition by all our allies." Zelensky held his meeting with ambassadors in August 2023, 3 weeks after leaving the NATO summit in Vilnius, Lithuania, without a timetable for Ukraine to join the alliance it wanted. In some ways, Zelensky is leading Ukraine into a two-front war. There is a warm counterattack against Russia in the country's own cities, villages, towns, and there is a long struggle to become an official part of the West through inclusion in NATO and the EU. The second challenge is not just about Ukraine's desire for long-term security. This is also related to its geopolitical identity. In a statement issued on July 11, 2023, during Alliance's two-day summit in Vilnius, NATO members promised that Ukraine could join NATO when the allies agree and conditions are met. Although the communiqué acknowledged that Ukraine did not need comply with the alliance's membership action plan, there were no specific steps Ukraine would need to take to receive a membership invitation. The lack of details caught the attention of Zelensky, who tweeted the fact that neither the invitation nor a timeframe for Ukraine's membership has been set is unprecedented and absurd. At the same time, vague statements about conditions are added even when inviting Ukraine. Some leaders were reportedly stunned by Zelensky's public criticism. As an academic specializing in international relations, Ukrainian politics, European security, I have taught how Ukraine's geopolitical ideological drift away from Russia has developed since the collapse of the Soviet Union, how policy decisions often depend on Russia's status, relations with Russia, EU and the USA. I also examined how Ukraine can follow examples of other countries to become members of Western alliances. Like the majority of Ukrainians, Zelensky sees Ukraine as ideologically and geopolitically separate from Russia. Ukraine's movement to the West before collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. Ukraine was country's second most populous republic after Russia, and Ukraine had the third largest nuclear arsenal of the USSR. But since the collapse, Ukraine has sought to secede from Russia, move towards the West. It sought national security and economic growth by adapting to Europe ideologically, politically. Over years, many steps